The party in Seattle is still going after our historic Super Bowl victory, but behind the scenes at the Virginia Mason Athletic Center, the pressure is reaching a boiling point right now. We are witnessing a massive talent drain that could threaten our chances of a repeat, and John Schneider is facing one of the most difficult puzzles of his career, as he tries to patch a championship roster that is leaking elite talent. I have been talking to sources inside the building all morning, and the news I have for you today is going to change the way you look at this upcoming draft. Make sure you subscribe and hit that like button to stay ahead. Jadarian Price is now the name echoing through the halls of the Seahawks front office as the potential savior for a backfield that is suddenly looking incredibly thin. The Notre Dame star has shot up the draft boards, and my sources are confirming that Seattle is seriously considering using their 32nd overall pick to secure him. This is not just a luxury pick, it is a necessity born out of a crisis that the public is only just starting to realize. Price is a legitimate freak athlete with 4.49 speed and a level of explosiveness that makes him a threat to score every time he touches the ball, even though he had limited snaps in college. He is a home run hitter, pure and simple. But here is where the tension lies for the front office. We only have 4 picks in this entire draft. That is an incredibly small margin for error for a team that just lost its core identity on the ground. The scouts love Price because of his vision and how he handles contact, but taking a running back at 32, when you have so many other holes on defense, is a massive gamble. The internal debate is whether he can handle a full NFL workload immediately, or if he is better suited as a change of pace back. However, with the current state of the depth chart, we do not have the luxury of waiting for someone to develop slowly. Price also brings elite value on special teams, averaging over 37 yards per return, which gives us vital insurance for Rashid Shaheed. But even with all that upside, why are the Seahawks being forced into such a corner? Why is a Super Bowl champion team suddenly desperate for a rookie to anchor the entire offense? The answer lies in a departure that has left a massive hole in the heart of the Pacific Northwest, and it is a move that still has fans reeling across the city of Seattle. We are talking about a player who was the engine of our championship run, and his absence is the reason why the front office is now losing sleep over a prospect from Notre Dame who has yet to take a single professional snap. If they miss on this pick, the fallout could be catastrophic for the locker room. This draft strategy is creating a massive divide among the fan base and the analysts. I want to hear from you in the comments right now. Do you think reaching for a running back at pick 32 is the right move for our future? Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts, because things are about to get even more intense. Kenneth Walker III leaving for the Kansas City Chiefs is the bombshell that has completely reshaped the landscape of this franchise and forced this urgent search for a replacement. Losing an MVP caliber player to a primary AFC rival is a bitter pill to swallow, especially when you consider how much of our offensive success was predicated on his ability to create something out of nothing. My sources tell me that the negotiations to keep him were intense, but ultimately, the cap situation and the Chiefs' offer made it impossible for us to match. Now the Seahawks are left staring at a vacant spot where a superstar used to be. It is not just about the yards, it is about the leadership and the fear he struck into opposing defensive coordinators. Without Walker, the pressure on the rest of the roster becomes immense. We have also lost Boymoff and Rick Woolen, meaning the talent drain is hitting both sides of the ball, but the void in the backfield is the most glaring. To make matters worse, the plan to have a seamless transition has been completely derailed. Zach Charbonnet, who many expected to step up, is currently sidelined with a torn ACL. His recovery is the big question mark hanging over the facility, and there is no guarantee he will be back to his explosive self by week 1. This is why the front office is so fixated on a rookie. They cannot afford to go into the season with a question mark at the most physically demanding position on the field. Kenneth Walker III was the security blanket for the entire team, and now that blanket is gone. The coaching staff is looking for someone with that same game-breaking ability, someone who can keep defenses honest and take the pressure off the passing game. Jadarian Price has the traits, but he is not Kenneth Walker III yet. The risk of using one of our very few draft assets on a running back when the defense has also been depleted is the ultimate high-stakes poker game. If Charbonnet does not return to form and we do not find a legitimate replacement for Walker, this offense could go from elite to stagnant in a matter of weeks. The front office knows this, and they are feeling the heat as the draft approaches. The reality of the situation is that the Seattle Seahawks are currently walking a very thin tightrope between remaining a contender and falling into a post-championship slump. The loss of Kenneth Walker III is more than just a statistical drop. It represents a shift in the team's identity. When you lose three key defensive and offensive pillars like Walker, Mafe, and Woolen all in one off-season, the culture of the locker room is tested. Mike McDonald and the coaching staff are working overtime to evaluate how they can evolve the scheme to compensate for these losses. The dilemma with Jadarian Price at pick 32 is a perfect example of the stress this front office is under. Usually, a team in our position would look to trade back, accumulate more than just 4 picks, and build depth across the roster. But if they trade back from 32 to 64, they are almost certain to lose out on Price, and with Charbonnet's health in doubt, they could end up with 0 reliable options at running back. It is a classic draft nightmare scenario. Internal reports suggest that the team is leaning toward the aggressive move because they believe the window to win another title is right now, and you cannot win in this league without a dynamic ground game. However, if they use that pick on a back and the defense struggles because they did not address the secondary or the pass rush, the critics will be relentless. The future of the Seahawks depends on whether they can find these diamonds in the rough with very limited resources. We are looking at a scenario where the margin for error is essentially 0. Every decision, from the draft room to the training table, has to be perfect. The front office is betting that they can find elite production from a rookie to replace an MVP, and that is a massive gamble that could define the next 3 years of this franchise. If Price becomes the star they hope for, John Schneider looks like a genius. If he fails, and the lack of depth catches up to us, we could be looking at a very painful transition period for the reigning champions. What this ultimately means for the Seattle Seahawks is that the honeymoon phase of the Super Bowl victory is officially over. The NFL is a business that moves fast, and as we have seen with the departure of Kenneth Walker III, loyalty often takes a backseat to the salary cap. The soul of this team is being redesigned on the fly, and the draft is no longer just about building for the future. It is about survival for the present. If the front office pulls the trigger on Jadarian Price, they are telling the world that they believe their system is stronger than any one individual player. They are betting on their ability to identify talent and plug it in immediately. For the fans, it is a time of both excitement and extreme anxiety. We want to see this team dominate again, but we also see the gaps that are forming in the roster. The meaning of this move goes beyond the running back position. It is about whether the Seahawks can maintain their championship standard while undergoing a massive transformation. We are at a crossroads, and the choice made at pick 32 will echo through the stadium for years to come. Do we trust the process that brought us the trophy, or do we fear the drain of talent is too much to overcome? This is the ultimate test of a champion. I want you to make sure you are subscribed to this channel with notifications turned on, because I will be bringing you every update as we get closer to draft night. This is the most critical offseason in recent memory, and you do not want to miss a single detail. Like this video if you believe in the front office's vision and want to see another trophy in Seattle. Can Jadarian Price really fill the shoes of an MVP like Kenneth Walker III, or are we setting ourselves up for a major disappointment? The clock is ticking, and the decision is looming. Go Hawks, and I will see you in the next update with more exclusive news from inside the building.